Okay. Hello, Instagram. Happy Saturday. It is time for Cozy Couch Conversations, where your Saturday night starts here. Waiting for my girls to get on. They will be here in a moment. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. It's Saturday. You already know, guys. It's time for Cozy Couch Conversations with the three queens from Queens, and they will be on in a moment. Welcome, welcome. Hey, how you doing, cuz? Hello, hello, welcome. Tonight is a special talk. Waiting for the other two queens to arrive. We will get it popping in a moment. How's everybody feeling? How you feeling? How's everybody feeling? Drop some emojis so I can see how you guys are feeling today. Yes. Hello. What's up? What's up? Yes. Happy Saturday. What's up? Okay. One. Hey, Chi Chi. Enjoying the weekend? That's what's up. That's what's up.
Hello,
Hey,
good
boo.
evening.
Hello, hello.
Hey, hey,
Yes.
hey.
Happy holiday.
Happy
Memorial Day weekend.
Saturday.
Happy holiday.
Right, right,
Take
right.
honors for everybody, all of our
Yeah.
veterans. Where's the veteran? Evie, are you there? Can you hear me? Can you see me? How you feeling?
I'm good. I feel refreshed. I came back from uh, a very an inspiring event
Yes,
this
yes.
yesterday in New York City. So it was great. I see Malik was on here. He was there too. It was a
Hey,
pleasure to see
Malik.
him as
Mm-hmm.
always. So yes, I was at a cool event with Mr. Boom Bennett. Shout
Yes,
out to
Bo's in the
him
building.
for coming all the way from the West Coast, to drop some gems in the concrete jungle.
There's my Evie. Hey, Boo. Come on in the
It was
building.
pretty
Hello,
cool.
hello. Welcome.
It's pretty cool. In addition to
Well,
him
you
giving a
already know
little
I'm going to need you to share your notes. Share with the group. No.
share with the group. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool,
Yeah.
and it's always great to have people from other areas, especially leaders within the organization, come to like your hometown and not just pour into us, but then he's learning things from us as well. Being in with those in New York City.
Welcome,
It's
welcome.
cool.
Hey, Evie.
Yeah, I had a little bit of issue trying to get in. My bad.
It's okay.
Hello, hello.
It's all good. Welcome, welcome.
Hi. Hi, y'all.
Good evening.
Good
So,
evening.
Not good night. Well, we could say
I
that.
think that,
We
yeah.
got Caribbean folks over here. Good
I
night.
know. I know.
Mo, you're wearing colors.
Huh?
You're wearing my colors.
I see. Apparently, I didn't know.
Oh, this
Red,
is on.
red was the
I
color.
know. And then I said, you know what? I got the red.
I
All
Oh,
right.
see. I see. Somewhere in sync.
Somewhere.
It's
yeah.
all
How you-
good. But it's cold, so I put on a hoodie because I don't understand this weather.
oh,
It's cold here. I'm freezing. I'm always cold, but I'm really cold now.
oh. Hi.
Yes, so good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
Hello. Yes. So welcome to Cozy Couch Conversations, where your Saturday night starts here.
Here.
Here. I'm cold, guys. I'm about to put the blanket back on because
Oh
we on the
no.
couch.
Oh, Lord.
I'm not outside. I don't
So
like
you you
rain.
you
I don't
putting the
like cold.
cozy and cozy couch.
No, for real. I've been cold all day. So tonight's
So
topic. Ooh wee. I don't want to talk about this.
why you don't I see somebody was asking what the topic is.
I
Yeah.
know.
So tonight's topic, what's up? Shout out to K Vestments. Tonight's
That's my
topic.
cousin.
Oh, okay. Hey, cousin.
He'll like this topic.
Is talking about pretty much sticking to a plan, a routine, consistency. You know, a lot of the conversations we've all had and we all have to deal with anyway, regardless, whether, you know, you're a mom or whether you're at work or, you know, have a business. So, you know what? I'm going to actually turn it over to Edie because she was the one who, you know, really said she wanted to dig into this conversation. So we pass the baton to you.
Well, hello everybody. But yeah, so today I was home. I had plans to do a whole bunch of things today, but the weather said, nah, not today.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey.
Hello. And so, you know, I was thinking to myself, I have a planner, I have a calendar, and here I am. I had all these plans to do things outside the house, but I realized, well, you didn't stick to your plan, your calendar, right? So, right. I have, because one of my, and I'm going to be transparent because this is the Cozy Couch and this is what we do. We are transparent. I see myself doing so much, right? And
you see yourself doing what? Say that again.
So many things. I told her, man, look here. Wait, here's another disclaimer.
Don't start.
Yeah.
Don't start.
Let me tell you something. If you got the iPhone 12,
send
send it
just the 12.
back.
let me talk about my phone, okay?
Listen, your phone is talking to you.
I'm team iPhone, but that 12, I don't know. It's gotta go.
Talk to Verizon.
That's even worse because they supposed to be the best.
So as you were with what you were saying,
Rudely interrupted. So whatever. So yeah,
sorry.
like what goes on up here on a daily basis, crazy. You would think that I like super busy, so much going on because I see myself doing something. But when it comes down to it, and I'm looking at paper, like that I have in my head compared to what's written down, it doesn't add up, right? And one of my struggles, which I'm working on, is sticking to doing certain things at a certain time.
A schedule or an actual routine or like
and actual having a routine and doing those things and then plugging in things in between. Because I will say this, I can be on the computer to do one thing and different things at the same time, trying to that one thing. And so that one task that could have probably taken 5 minutes now stretched out over an hour because I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and doing this, and
ultimately nothing gets done.
You know what? I blame TikTok.
Longer, not even. It's not TikTok. Just me, because I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna carve out this time to do, you know, stuff in the academy, and I get on, I watch a video, then get an alert, then I'm in the text, then I'm doing this, then I'm in the, and I'm like, child,
sensory overload.
Right, but then I find myself too, because even with the baby, you know, I made it my business. This was one of the hardest things into this situation. Speaking to you ladies, and you know, you're telling me I have to develop a routine, especially with Ari, because like, man, I need to be doing it at 8 o'clock. It disrupts my, you know, my plans to jump into the academy and get things done. And I actually stuck to thing that actually worked. Me getting her to bed before 8 o'clock. Tonight she went to bed before 9. We were up.
It's Saturday, so you know.
Well, that's a conversation.
That's still a good time.
Yeah.
Like that's 8, 9. It's still good. I mean, 9 was pushing it a little bit, but it's still good.
It's pushing it because I had a disaster that happened. So.
What? You know what? I'm
scared to ask.
I was going to say that.
Is this for Cozy Couch Conversation? conversations, or is it?
It is always
It's just
something with you.
my mom.
Disaster.
It was a lot of extra letters that came out that she shouldn't have been hearing. But yeah, I was dropping all kinds of derogatory terms.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. So that that's one thing in developing a routine and sticking to it, is that when you do a routine, it builds consistency. And I know that, especially now that I see that when I'm not consistent, everything goes to, and I see
That's true.
the way I eat and my sleeping habit, because I only eat for hours, and then throughout the day I'm struggling, right? Because I want to stay up to finish 10 different things as opposed to sticking.
That's all true.
And sometimes I blame it at work.
Why are you laughing, Chi?
Because I witnessed this the other night. I was talking to her, and I forgot, there was something, I think her journal, whatever she was doing. She said, I have to write it down. I looked at the time. I was like, you need to go to bed. You got to get up in the morning.
You're working
You gotta
4
work.
a.m.
I know. You already wake up early or don't get enough sleep. But she was so, but it's, it's very
Tunnel
interesting.
vision. Evie, you have
Yeah, it's a fixation in getting something completed. But at the same time, like you said, if you had focused on what that was, and it was something that was simple too. It wasn't something that was complicated. That was like, look, I can see why you put it back at the end of the night, type of thing. It was one of those things, but that was something quick that you could have finished earlier. But the fact, like she said, you're doing multiple things, and maybe it's a level of distraction, right? Or just, not being able to be attentive, at your attention span.
Yeah.
So that's even more reason why you have to do less, or like focus more on one thing to get it done. Because if your attention span is
more
there.
of the 5 to 9 time, or this is at work, or is it both?
It'll happen at work, because oftentimes I'm like, because I'm at work, there's stuff that I should be doing that I should be doing. Work is taken away from, and I want to blame game saying it's work, or because I notice when I'm at work, I'm doing multiple things, like I'm not the schedule, I'm checking mail, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and so I'm used to a habit that I need to break, right? Because I see my life clearly is I'm used to doing so many different things and pulled in so many different directions that oftentimes I get caught up in everything else, and that plays into the personal aspect.
So it's not a delegation thing. It's not
Right.
something that you're doing that you need to give
No,
someone. These are all things you're responsible for. I'm
doing my stuff and other people's stuff too, and so it's easy for me to do everything, and so it's weird because like my mind is weird. Like it's almost easy for me to focus on other people's problems on my own. But you see how all those things play in role, because I'm at work, I can pull into 10 different directions and I'm getting things done, right? But it's like, instead of saying, no, let me get this done and then I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? Like being
boundaries.
But yes, boundary, even that too. And I'm like, because I see it in even doing things in this business, because instead of knowing the kind of schedule that I have and knowing that when I come home, I have a certain amount of time before I go to bed and then focus on the business. Instead of me saying, okay, between time and this time, prospect, whatever the case may be, and that I'll be trying to making dinner, sending a text, or calling somebody, and it's like, bro, what do you
you're all over the place.
Something's not getting done, or either you're not
gonna give your all, or things are just not gonna get fully completed.
You're not getting.
But that's something that I guess you have to sit down, which is so it's not that you can't be organized. It's just that you have to you have to have that conversation with you to say, look, we can't you're doing
You
10,000
gotta
things at
do
the
what's
same
a
time.
priority first.
Yes, and that's
Right.
you hit the nail on the head. That's what it's funny how organization, time management, all of that goes into each other. But it's in your situation, it's not necessarily time management, it's prioritization. You got to know what's more important to be working on first and then knock everything else down. But it's funny that we had this conversation because even though this was something that you had on your mind to share, I actually got a text message this morning from a family friend of mine who randomly, I mean, we always, talk about different things about life, money, all that stuff.
Right.
But he had sent me a text and he said, I just had I guess it was like an epiphany. He's like, you know what? He said, he said, I don't understand why people always say that they're multitasking. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, no, it's not that people are always multitasking. He said, he said it stems back from work. And what he was saying, meaning is that what he was meaning in saying that is that he said people's jobs are designed to make you do things that you can do in 20 hours to stretch it into 40. So they give you a whole bunch of other things to do. Because the reality of it, if you did maybe 50 to 75% of your job, right? And you didn't have to do all these other little things, you wouldn't have to work a 40-hour work week. That's pretty much what he was saying. Is this we have all these little things, and so we get so used to having to multitask, right? And then sometimes we may carry that over to our life because you there's a difference between you'll hear people say that they're busy. Now you could be busy at work, right? Or look busy. I could scatter paper all around so somebody can get out my face, right?
Right.
To make it seem like I'm busy, but really I could be half-assed, right? But the same thing applies to other things in life. Sometimes we're busy. We're not busy. We're just moving around. But are we actually productive?
Right.
So that's the thing, because root word in productive is productivity, and outcome. Something has multiplied, right? From your effort. So yeah, he literally said that in a message this morning. I'm like, how profound. That's very true.
I watched the video probably about maybe a week and a half ago. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna post it about the word multitasking when you brought that up. It's actually not a good word to use. It actually, from the video that I watched, it was someone, I forgot his name, Jeff somebody, whatever. The gist of it was that he was saying that when people say they're multitasking, like you said, they're really not getting anything done. You should do one task, finish it, and then move on to the next. Which is hard, like you said, at work, because you could be doing, a report or a project or something, and the phone rings. You gotta answer the phone. You stop what you're doing. You get an email. You read the email. In my job, I don't know, and all of whatever you guys have to do. But he was saying in the video, like, multitasking is not really productive because you're really not giving your all to each task. You're doing 20% here, 30% here, and you're all over the place. So I'm gonna find the video and I'm gonna post it about why we should not multitask. We should actually focus on one task at a time and finish it, which is the total opposite of what I do all day. I don't even know how, but I've been watching it to learn how to get better with this whole routine and consistency, which I also have a hard time with the consistency part. Like, I'll start something and then I'm like, oh, I'm done with that, moving on to this. And that's not very productive. But I'll drop the video for everybody so y'all can watch it. It was a YouTube video. Okay. But multitasking is something that I'm going to shy away from saying because I used to always say that. Oh, don't mind. I'll be right there. I'm multitasking. No, I'm not saying it no more because I realize that it's a word that's not conducive to where I see my future going. I don't want to multitask and do that. I want to focus on one thing. Finish it.
Well, you know what? And then the other side of that conversation that I have with him too is that, well, everyone is different. That's one. Some people are very good or much or better in multitasking. They could do multiple things, get it done, and that's just in their nature. But one of the things that I said to him, I said that I pay attention to people. Like I study people and their behaviors and things. And I said, what I noticed was that at a certain level, especially when it comes to wealth, people don't have to multitask. What happens is you've already built that muscle to either you've mastered a certain skill set, or now you're able to delegate that to someone else, right? Because if I'm, I don't know, having a, bless you, if I have a certain business, I don't have to be the one doing everything, right? So what happens is this, inadvertently, which ties in with that message that I got, is we're being trained to not work for ourselves. We're being trained to do the work for someone else.
Wait,
but in reality,
now, like our normal 9 to 5s?
yeah, normal 9 to 5. Because guess what always happens too? When people who are always multitasking, doing other things, then when it comes down to investing in themselves, what do they always say? They don't have
Time.
They don't have, right. They don't have time because
They
don't look at themselves. Yeah, they're too busy doing something else, probably 9 times out of 10 for someone else, right? That the focus isn't incorporating themselves, right? That into the growth, into whatever it is that that's being presented to them. So yeah, as I had that conversation, I was like, you know what, that is true. And that made me think of, on another level, when it comes to growth and expansion, personally, or whether you have a business or even at work too. Because if you're always doing something where you have to be an octopus, and then, because remember, the key is working smarter, not harder, right?
But
learning how to,
we're taught to work harder.
Right, but also learning how to work from our neck up instead of our neck down, right? So like you're saying, being taught to always be an octopus in a sense, right? But that goes back to having to shift and say, you know what? Like you were saying, what is priority, right? It's like, yo, I have to not. And then let's be real. There's some things that, and maybe it could be, home life can be different too, right? Because everybody's situation is different. I have kids. I can delegate stuff. It don't always got to be me. But I had to learn that. And even if your daughters too, there's some little things that she can do. You just got to put that in motion.
Right.
But but sometimes, us with personality, you may think like, no, I got to get this done. I got it, or a certain way. So that's something that I've still in the process of learning too as well. Like, no, guess what? You can cook, son. Make that happen. Just don't burn down the house. Just fun. And actually doing that when it comes to your kids, when it comes to work, when it comes to business, not only are you avoiding spreading yourself thin with certain things, but you are now empowering other people to tap into something they didn't know that they had. So like, I know my son, he thinks he's Chef Boyardee, right? Because he's been empowered. He's been given permission to say, of course you can go, cook or make something.
Right.
So now he's going to spend more time in the kitchen, right? Opposed to asking me to make him something. But then that's also going to sharpen his skill set with cooking.
Right.
So I just what'd you say?
I said that's a good perspective, because it's funny that you mentioned about cooking, because today Savannah was adamant on making her own omelet for breakfast, and I was like, oh, me, I'm like, no, you can't burn down my house.
But kids don't know until you got to put them in that position, right? So, I mean, to a certain level, some things you just like, all right, hold on till you're a certain age, but something like that, get them in the swing of it.
I'm not ready yet.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah.
I need to do that. That's one of
the but you could be by her side. This isn't, she's making an omelet and you're in a whole nother room. It could be you're within proximity. You're just being a guide. You're just looking. And that's exactly what I was doing, with my son when he started.
That to me. She goes, you can supervise me.
See, there it is.
Like, I don't want to do nothing.
And that's
just go in there and make it and be done. And clean the kitchen up, get out.
Of not, not delegating, because I was always one of the words, and it happened at home where, you know, even that asking for help, because if somebody
Mm-hmm.
do it the way you would normally do it, so you have trouble asking for help, just delegate it. You're like, nah, let me just do it, because if I do it, I know it get done.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about everything, and that's not good.
And at
Yeah.
some point, you gotta like, because I'm seeing it play out now. I didn't have a kid before. Now I'm seeing little reflections of things like she made a mess and I have to clean it up. But last night happened, you know, I was like, nah, it's still a mess right now. In the back of my mind, it's like, oh,
Why don't you make her clean it up? Look at me talking, but you know,
Feel right.
I know. Look at me. Show her how to clean it up.
but here's
See,
the
that
thing.
I could do.
If I put it away, she's just gonna make that same mess when she goes back over there. So why put it up right now? It's not a priority, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's not a priority, it's a huge
Okay, that's
spill or
good.
something.
You recognize that.
Yes, you
A
recognize that.
couple of
Okay.
months ago, I think you would have cleaned it up. Matter of
Right.
fact, 2 weeks ago, you would have cleaned it up.
I probably would. But what also why I'm so glad we're is because I was talking to my cousin, you know, just got into business, and one of the things were I was having trouble, you know, connecting with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had to really sit down because we finally were able to have that phone call. And one of the things I wanted to make sure I said, and I see it a reflection, right? Because we had the amazing opportunity, thankfully, to view the live stream from IM3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what chairman or chairwoman was speaking on this, was, you know, just being able to connect with people, right? And I was like, one of the things I have to work on is connecting with people. But what I failed to do right as I in was be 100% about my expectation of not only what I expect from her, much, you know, to expect from a sponsor, right? And
Mm-hmm.
she said it's her fault too for not responding to the text, because one of the things we have to make sure that we is have an open line of communication, right? And I want to just thank you, Chi, and I had to use that as an example. And I thought when you brought me in, the lines of communication were always open. You know what I'm saying? And you still made it a priority to have those phone calls, right? To have those meetings even till now. And I had to say, well, she's been in probably a month, and
Mm-hmm.
she's not where she should be as far as, you know, just the time that she's been in, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
make sure we get people in to make money, right? Because that's what you're here. And I'm like, you don't have a lot of accounts set up. You know what I'm saying? You're in the HFX package. Why aren't we in,
Well,
you know, why aren't we utilizing the platform? Because this is what you're coming in for. This is what you're paying for, right? And so I had to, and saying, okay, this is what needs to happen. Because everybody is growing, and I'm like, okay, I know you're a little overwhelmed, so you don't want to push people, but that's back to the training that we see, in that you have to, for who they are, but she has to grow through this process, and I have to be able to stretch her so that she can grow. Because if I allow her to take time with certain things or just sit on things, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Then she's not gonna get any. She's not gonna benefit from what she's benefiting from, right?
Right.
So I had to take that well, and like, light bulb. You can't be telling her to do this and you don't do it yourself. So there has to be accountability.
Right.
So I'm just connected, and all these things play a part, because essentially you want the person that you bring great, grow further than you ever will. But at the same time, you can't you expect, we're family, right? And so I'm like, oh, okay, I know how she is. Do you know? And I have to be
Mhm.
I know you, and I know used to be, but this is a different environment. This is more than trading. And so I have to relearn again. And
Yeah, you have to unlearn and relearn a lot of things about yourself and other people. Yeah.
exactly.
I think for that, it goes back to, because sometimes I revisit my own letter, but going back to looking at your whys. And that, because your whys don't just affect just the business, it affects, it's beyond the business. It's why you're doing anything and everything. So when I read what I wrote, when did I write that? Back in August? I think it was back in August. I read it every now and again, especially when I'm feeling like overwhelmed with everything that I have to be that octopus with, So when I reread my letter that I wrote to Chi, it just puts me back into a place. And I don't read it often, but I'll send it to myself. Like, I think I set it to send to myself as an email format because I'm coming up on my anniversary. So I sent it to myself. It's coming up on the 19th. I think.
Okay.
So, but it helps because, what we're doing is different from our norms. We already know that. Our family and friends that are around us aren't doing exactly what we're doing just yet, right? So we stand out. Saturday night, I choose not to go to a party because why? I have things I want to do here. I want to do this. Like those type of little changes that we make that we're making in our lives is different from our environment. So sometimes we need to remember our whys, have our goals written around, create our environment. And the same thing with, your new partner, your cousin. Sometimes you're going to have to separate it being your cousin to being your partner.
Oh, yeah.
So in the beginning, when we first got started, which I think we're still very close knit and, hands-on. I mean, as throughout the week or whatever, but we were tapped in. Just, gotta stay tapped in.
Right.
So,
But what you had said, because for those of you who are hopping on and you're like, what in the world is these ladies talking about, right? The topic was more so, focus on consistency and discipline. And Evie was sharing a conversation that she had with a cousin, and that kind of had her reflect on some things. And even us as moms, people. Hey, Andrew, what's up?
hey, Andrew. Oh.
Yeah. Even being moms, or whether you work in a job or working a business as well, learning about consistency and discipline is needed, not just to be effective with whatever it is that we're doing, but what I'm realizing more and more with everything that we're doing, the more consistent that you are, right? The more people are saying like, oh, this isn't a little old thing that was just
right
thrown together. Oh, this is this isn't your little Forex thing, as people would say, right? No, this is bigger. Yeah, this is literally about life. This is bigger than trading. This is bigger than investing, even though that is of importance, but it's so much more, the connections that you make with people, the networking, the personal development part. That's the piece I love. Let me tell you something, honey.
Yes, it's the best. That's out of everything that we are learning. I mean, the skill set is awesome and amazing.
Yeah.
Because,
most definitely.
That's a given. The skill set, learning how to multiply your money, is just something that
hey, Gail, what's up?
we did not have. We did not learn this. So now that we're learning it, that's amazing. But the personal development, oh, wow. It's life-changing. It really is. Right. Because last week we talked about health and wealth, right? And how it ties into us being consistent. Why? Because consistently, if we focus on our health goals, it'll make us better with our time management skills, eventually the wealth, like all of those things, everything ties together. And
because again,
being around you guys helps a lot.
One of the chairmen said it today. He was like, listen, if you want to eat better, right? So this way you're less tired, you're able to do what you're supposed to do rather than like,
That,
I need a nap. Oh, I'm groggy. If you're consistent and disciplined when it comes to your eating, when it comes to your health, these things will fall into place because now you're able to function better, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
And shout out to, real quick, just want to shout out to
Miss
Mr.
Gay,
Bryce Thompson because, so for those of you who don't know, Bryce Thompson is, part of this phenomenal organization that we're affiliated with. And this gentleman is what, 24 years old?
yes,
I think he just
Yeah,
turned 24 too.
yeah.
He just turned 24.
He's not only is, yes, he's young, he is a multimillionaire, but he recognized that in order to continue to perform at a peak level or to be in peak state, he had to make changes. So I was looking on his page, right? Like I said, I'm always looking to see something that I can take from, right? Because everybody shares value. It doesn't matter what, rank they're in. But he was showing that it was his 45th day of being vegan. So that was something that he tried,
right.
to
Wow.
get, because he recognized, because again, you can have all that money, but if your health ain't right,
You're
it
welcome.
doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it won't mean anything. So I was like, wow, 45 days. Okay. That's good. But so can you imagine with whatever his mindset was? Because I'm quite sure he's already consistent and disciplined for him to be at the level he's at.
Right.
But it shows you that there's always still room for growth.
That's-
Even when you're at that level. So yeah.
He's a chairman, what? Two?
Bryce Thompson is the chairman of Elites.
Elite. That's right. He's elite. Yeah. Off the chart.
leader,
Off the charts.
off the charts. Leader, Panther Lion, health, wealth. It's a mindset thing. That's absolutely right.
That is true.
That is absolutely right. But yes, it's very important, when we're talking about, consistency and discipline in anything, because even for you, shout out to you, the viewers who are tuning in right now, because you all are aware that, hey, we have our Cozy Couch Conversation Saturdays at 9, and you showed up. So shout out to you, because you were expecting that. And actually one of the viewers, I spoke to her earlier, and she was, she told me, she was like, you have a live going on at 9, right? So that's great. Consistency and discipline is showing, look, this is what they're going to expect. So that's why it's also of importance, because now you create expectations. You don't even realize it. People start having expectations of you, right? What you can or can't do.
Right.
And sometimes when you're more efficient, with the consistency and discipline, you're also giving people permission to do the same. They're like, yo, if Mo can do it, I can too. If Edie can do it,
Exactly.
I can too. Right? Because now now they're gonna look like there's no excuses. Because before you could say, well, I have one kid and I can't. No, now you have women who have, kids and work and learning a new skill set and building a business. So doing multiple things, so you are able to do it. So definitely want to give you all a shout out as well, because for you all to step outside of your own comfort zone, you're showing other people that they can too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because it's easy to hide behind what our normalcy, right? Hide behind what we're used to doing. Like I could be like, oh,
Amen.
yeah, I would like, oh, I can't do this, or yeah, it's easy to be like, oh no, but hurry, so I can get on.
Right.
It's safe because you don't want to do it, or your heart is not in it. But just taking out the fact that if I don't do this, what's showing her? I
can't quit.
To the both of you that we're gonna do. And so if I say, oh no, I don't feel like it.
Right.
Right. What was that last part? Say it again.
If I was to say, I don't feel like it tonight.
Yeah.
We
won't allow you to do that.
Right.
I don't care if you got to do it from the car.
No, but like, what would be easy what would come easy to you normal? Because I know for me, I ain't gonna lie, I would make somebody, or somebody can invite me to something, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it comes down to it, like, I don't feel like going outside. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
you know,
That's right. You should fall in love with what you're doing.
exactly. And
Right.
That's
you know,
right.
when you're in an environment like this, one of the things I noticed, it's hard for you to, I don't know about other, but if I was to quit, I'd feel some kind of way, because I'm like, yo, not only am I quitting on myself, but I'm quitting on my daughter. I'm quitting on y'all, because, and then my word is not my bond, and my actions are not, you know, my action, like my credibility is now gone, because one, I
Right.
what I came in here that I wanted to do, and then who's gonna believe that? Oh, she, you know, I'm inconsistent, right? I have no discipline because I'm quitting, and it's like, how? What would that, at the end of the, what would that say to my kids? You know, what would that say to anybody? She'll look at mommy and, you know, I mean, she's not even 2 yet, but it's not like she's gonna be like, I remember when mom used to put me to bed because she had to do a presentation. Now,
Look here, you will be surprised as she gets older, like the things that she's going to remember. I'm telling you, even my mom is surprised. She's like, "How did you remember that?"
like,
Well, she didn't even remember that, you know, because
right,
we have a different perspective of what we see and what we remember. So,
exactly. Like, you know, she'll give me the phone and be like, don't you have to do?
Savannah already know today was Saturday. She said, I have you until what time, mommy? I said 8:30. She said, okay. And then at 8:30, she's like, you gonna go? I was like, yeah, I'll be back. Like, I'll be
yeah,
back.
yeah. But
We'll
that's
Zoom.
because of creating consistency
Yeah.
in something. So that's why, that's what I was saying, you know, everything that we're doing, we're not just doing it for us. You go in doing it for yourself, but you realize you're actually doing it for other people. Maybe even having this conversation for those, you know, who are tuned in. Hopefully someone is getting some value or getting some type of takeaway from it, or becoming introspective and thinking like, look, that resonates with you, because maybe you do have to get consistent with something, more disciplined. You know, none of us on here on this platform, you know, is by far perfect. We're still a work in progress, but the first thing is acknowledging it, you know. So it's just like Evie said, she was like, look, I sat down and I just realized I'm doing this, but certain things weren't getting completed. But that's the first step, is actually recognizing. So, you know, it's a good thing that you did, because guess what? There's people walking around for years not recognizing, not reflecting on things, and the reflection is so important. That's something to do all the time, daily. But
My cousin
yeah,
So it's too late.
was like, you know what? I have to make them. I have to make it more plugged in. She was like,
Mhm.
it's on. You know, it's on for not, you know, being consistent. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, because at the end of the day, again, you want to get out of this what you came for, right? But
Right.
with life, you want the best out of life, right?
Hmm.
And so we want to be our best selves. That's our goal every day, to be your best self. And consistent
Hmm.
are some of the things that will get you to that point. And we're constantly all growing, right? We're constantly, I know I am. We all,
Hmm.
we all
I know I am too. Yeah, yeah,
know,
most definitely.
Yeah.
learning, growing. So consistency and discipline is always something that you're going to need to work on. You know, once you're consistent and the discipline is there, it'll get a lot easier. But, you know, because
Hmm.
you're always learning, growing, there's levels to it. You get better.
Right.
The whole outlook is that you get better, you know,
Right.
with time.
And shout out to Miss Brittany Garrison, because one of the things she always says is, when you talk about consistency, she says, if you consist, you will, then you will see.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, you know, sometimes, you know, the words, um, there's words within words, right? So if you continue something, right, consist, then you will see. So that is very true when it comes to, you know, being consistent and, you know,
Scale.
Yeah, we're
just doing certain things. So she said, this is a good accountability live. I appreciate this and glad I joined tonight. Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks.
I'm glad you look here. We're talking about everything. We could go from talking about health as well from last week. We're talking about accountability because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we're having conversations about the whole of us. You know, there's so many, being human, we're so complex. There's so many different parts to us. So it's important for us to touch up on different topics that shine the light on our various parts. So, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
So besides, okay, so we identified that, it's something that we have to work on. All of us, everybody, even the people tuning in. Consistency is something we need to work on. Being disciplined, staying on track for your goals, on what you want. If you had to give someone advice on how to do that, what would you say? What would be your advice on the procrastinator, the person whose attention span is all over the place, or the person or even like the person who's like sad, who's like, oh, you don't feel like doing it today?
I would advise, I need to follow that somebody else gave to me, was focus on the smallest of tasks, right? One thing, no matter how small it is, knock it out. And when you do that, celebrate the fact that you accomplished, that you completed that task, right? Because the little things matter well, and it's okay to say, you know what, I'm happy that I just completed. This is a good thing, because then it builds what's the word I'm looking for?
Empowerment.
That
yeah.
But y'all get where I'm going with this. Is that
it's a level of confidence that, look, I got something achieved.
That even though it's small, you know what I'm saying? It makes you want to say, you know what? Let me do that
again.
You know what I'm saying? Because and so you're like, oh shit.
I can do it.
Like, I'm my group.
Right. And before you know, that one little thing turned, you done knocked out a whole bunch of work. And you're like,
right.
Honestly,
repetition is the mother of all skill.
Yes.
That's what it is. The people who do things very well is because they've repeatedly done it. They didn't do it just once or twice. They repeated it, and each time they did it, they grew, more confident in doing it.
Yes. Gail.
Right.
Thank you.
Right, Ocean. The momentum remains constant. Right. That's absolutely true.
Yes.
You know what, Evie? I appreciate you saying that, because I always say, like, I never celebrate the little things. Like, I never say, oh, that was good, I did that. I needed to hear that. Thank you. For real.
Yeah.
I needed to hear that.
That is true. Yes, celebrating it. But another thing too that people really sleep on, and they rely on their brain, because your brain really only pays attention to probably 5% of the things. And if you definitely have the worst of attention spans, it's gonna probably knock that in half. But writing things down.
Yeah.
That's something people don't do. It's very old fashioned. Before we had phones, I try to go, no, I don't try to. I go old school when it comes to just writing things down. Because once upon a time, everything was on my phone. And y'all know my saying, my calendar is my boss. So I always have to go look at my calendar for certain things. Say, look, let me see if I can fit this in here. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. And it helps keep me on track too. And at the end of the day too, based on what we want in its entirety, I want my calendar to be my only boss. So,
hello. You know what? Another thing.
You start now because what? Yeah. Repetition is the mother of all skill.
Feel some kind of way. I look at my calendar and there's like a big block in my calendar.
Yeah, I feel some type of way.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel some type of way. If I have well, my calendar's white. If I have a white spot, like I'm like, no, I gotta feel something.
It's like
yes. I'm like, yo, who needs help with something? Let me go.
You know what I'm saying?
Fill that part in.
That needs to be filled up. That 7 to 4 slot. Because what you want to be there ain't what's in there. So I'm like, yo, this calendar.
Right.
So,
But
So
don't
yeah.
forget to schedule those times so you don't burn out, guys. That's another important thing.
Oh yeah, most
self.
most definitely. And I have to realize that too.
Yeah.
I tend to do that, and I did that today. I said, you know what? I'm gonna sit my butt down.
Yeah, almost did it this weekend. You went
Yeah.
10 different places at once, and you had to take a time out thanks to rain. Rain
Right.
on me and let.
You know what? And the thing with me that I know I do that too is because the more, I guess, the older I'm getting, and just even the more that I'm in a dope environment of people, it makes me realize more and more like I have to take advantage of stuff. Like, why should I wait?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's gonna have the opportunity is gonna come again.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that mentality with a lot of things. So I'm quick to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a yes person, you know, not in that regards, but just
Opportunity.
yes on opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and also shout out to Kevin Howell, who did that too. You know, he asked me to do something like right off the bat. Someone else could be like, no, I'm make up an excuse. I couldn't make an excuse. Even though I had other things I had to do,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it happen. So thank you for having him stretch me. And I manifested that because I even said I wanted to do something. Remember I said that to you, Evie? I literally had just said that. I was like, I'm looking to do something that's going to stretch me a little more. I'm like, is everything else? Because again, and that's a good thing. That's growth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, speak about consistency and discipline. When you're doing something consistent and then it doesn't feel like anything to you anymore, you know, whether
Time to go
it's
a little.
presenting
My job.
your job. I know that too, right? You want to move. It's just, yeah, well, even with work, you're at a certain position and you're like, look, man, this is getting too easy. As I'm not stimulated. I got to move on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
2 years, my work clock is like doing something else. And when I say, as far as work is concerned, I'm like, I get an itch. I want to move somewhere. I want to go somewhere and do something. But
That's
now,
yeah.
that's not in the plan because one, mommy mode, and I can do the fact that I can do this from anywhere
Is amazing.
is one of those.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have to really reassess this. You know, you get to the point where, but it's not that I can't. I choose not to throw myself into my 9 to 5 as much as I would, and I want to say I'm thankful because my daughter has made me realize that now I can do other things.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And you probably didn't even think you could, you know,
No.
and that's the great thing about having extra responsibility.
Right.
You start realizing, man, I could do these things. Because if you didn't have the kids, you'd be like, I can't, I'm not able to. But then you have to now think outside the box.
But
when you do have them.
That is not, I'm able to say I can now focus on things that I want to do as opposed to things that I have to do. Because with the job, I'm like, you know, I have to do this, or let me go do this just so I can feel a certain way. Now I'm doing things because now the focus is things that I love, because here's the kicker for all of this is I cannot tell her to go follow her dream and do what's in her heart if I did not do that.
Absolutely.
Right.
For me,
that's a very good point.
Because I would choose
you know what?
do what we do and not what we always say. So
right. That's so true. I mean, I'm quite sure a lot of people tuning in as well see that with their own parents. That, you know, everybody probably has that story about, oh, my parents gave up their dreams to for us to have ours. But no, this is something that we don't want. We don't want to be hearing this. We don't want to do that. See, what happens is we got comfortable with that narrative, right? It sounds like, oh, for real, they did that. No, you want it to be where the fact that your parents took a hold of their own dreams, they created something for you, which brought in another space and opportunity. Yesterday, what you just said made me think of yesterday. So yesterday, real quick, Mr. Bo Bennett, when he was at the event yesterday in New York, one of the things that he had said, he was talking about, different players, and he was talking about one of the football players, Howie Manziel, where he comes from a well-to-do family.
Mhm.
He didn't need football. he would have been good, without it. But the fact that he had already an opportunity to I guess to gain wealth, being that he came from wealth, it just gave him another option. Why can't you have both? Why can't you come from something good or great, right, and then still do whatever it is that you want to do?
Exactly.
So yeah, you made me think of that when talking about your own dreams. Instead, you can't tell somebody to do have their own dreams, or and you're not even doing that for yourself. So that's important.
We got
as well.
do what I say and not exactly bullshit. That
Right? Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
We got to stop with that whole do what I say and not what I do bullshit.
Yeah, I never did like that statement. I have said that to my child, but when I said it, I was like, oh wait, that's not what I mean. I mean, wait, hold on. But I don't really like that statement, because you know what? I'd rather be the example that you see me doing A, B, C, D, and then you say, you know what? My mom did A, B, C, D, and now I'm gonna do A. I'm gonna go all the way to the top. I'm gonna do all the way to Z. And you're right. I don't want her to ever throw back in my face, well, you didn't
do this, right? You never did this, so why are you telling me to do that?
People of color, we have to start being the examples for our kids, because you know what I'm saying, we can't leave it to other people. It's just you leave people to raise your kids. You need that man to piss up, right?
Right.
So
right.
we have to break that cycle and be the example that our kids want to see. Because yes, looking up to rappers and great, but they need to be able to say, you know what, I could look up that. You know what I'm saying? We need more of that. And so we got to break the cycle somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. So yes. So thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah.
Our conversation.
You all goes by so fast, but I love it.
Yeah, it does. It go. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So that means there's good conversation going on. But this was a great topic. What did Mookie Bray say? I love to see your Black sisters just sitting down talking about life with that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's what we're here for. Yes. We're here to do that. To see us in a different light. Like, I don't know, whatever TV's telling you that we're normally having conversations about.
We don't.
But I know, I don't even watch TV. It's crazy. Real talk. I used to play ball. I've done forgot the Knicks was playing until I was talking to somebody. I'm like, oh, really?
You forgot the Knicks was playing?
Yes. Like 2 nights ago, it was like, yeah, they're playing. Look here, I'm telling you, my TV is Go Live. I'm telling you. That's the only thing I'll be plugged in is our private investment group chats. Go Live. Mm-hmm. And just phone. Yeah, that's
and
literally
YouTube.
Well, YouTube. Yes, YouTube. Mm-hmm.
I only
know. So and I'm not searching for. I don't even know.
Maybe some TikTok. I'm trying to see something.
Yo, we gotta work on this
TikTok. Right. Yo, I'm telling you, y'all don't want me. It's gonna be over. Once I start getting the hang of it's a wrap. I'm not even gonna be talking to you. Everything's gonna be a dance. Y'all already know I love singing. Even though I'm not the greatest at singing. So it's gonna be over.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Channel
you funny. Go Live have the best TV shows.
All right.
Yes, they do.
Sure it does.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Sure it does. Especially the favorites.
Right.
Oh, man.
So before we go, just real quick, just wanted to say, just switch gears. Make sure that you all tune in on Tuesday at June 1st, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it'll be at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because I will be going live with none other than Mr. Bo Bennett, right? Mr. Cali. So yes, so just tune into that right here on my IG, chi.by.chi. If you are not following me, then you need to be following me so you can catch the live notification when it comes on, right?
Colors is a new sitcom. I love it.
Right. And if you don't know what Colors is and you're tuning in, ask one of these ladies. Ask me, ask one of these other ladies, and we will definitely get you plugged in to know what Colors is about.
Exactly.
Colors
Right.
is a game changer right there.
Yes. Everybody have a blessed weekend. It's Memorial Day. Don't go out here acting crazy, silly, and stuff like that. Safe. All my Jamaicans, big up in New York. I'm saying up.
Staying far from Brownsville area, East New York. I'm staying far from there. I'll tell you something. Yes. Last time I checked, a body always comes out after.
I can't stop it.
Am I lying? True or true? Okay.
True. Okay, so.
True. So it's been a pleasure as usual. Good night, y'all.
Again, we talked about
Love
accountability.
you too. Have a great weekend.
Discipline.
I'm gonna start following you, and I'm from New Orleans. Oh, okay. Oh, that's another place that I want to
That's the next.
go.
That's on my list.
Follow us
Yeah.
on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Evie Wade on
Yes.
Island _Queen_Evie here on Instagram.
And I'm Empress
Yes.
Mo.
Oh, go ahead.
Empress Mo _620. And on Facebook, I'm my first name, Monique Warren. And also, if you did not see the whole video, you can catch it on YouTube because we are there too.
Yes.
So chi, CHI.BY.chi on IG and Chi Coleman on Facebook.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in.
3 Queens from Queens. Let me drop that in the chat.
On YouTube. Subscribe, guys.
Make sure you
Drop
subscribe.
your comments. We would love to get your feedback. If anybody has a topic they want to talk about, if anybody want to be a special guest, hit us up.
Yes. So this has been our 5th episode. So we started on May 1st. So I know time has been flying.
I know.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Good episode.
I know. I feel like we just got here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We rocking and rolling. So tune in and you will see more. Have a great night.
Good night.
Good
night.
Good night. My favorite red.
I can't.
I'm done with it.
Done, Mohawk.